What's good? Welcome to this presentation. This is Trey coming to you live with how to conquer the fear of rejection so you can achieve your dating goals and dreams. All right, if you're watching this, you've probably been facing some form of rejection because you've been, whether you're going out and approaching women or maybe you're doing dating apps, you're not getting the response you'd like, or it might be your social circle. Whatever the case may be, this fear of rejection holds us back, prevents us from moving forward, from approaching the next girl, from expressing ourselves fully, right? This fear and it's this feeling of rejection. It's very uncomfortable, right? It doesn't feel good. It starts bringing these thoughts of I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm not good looking enough, I'm not tall enough, I'm not this, I'm not that. Anything that you're not, your brain starts thinking that that's the reason why you're not getting the result. And it's because we have a certain way we've been programmed over the years to see rejection a certain way. We've been programmed to have a certain negative relationship with rejection, right? And in this presentation, what I want to do is help you change your relationship with rejection so it's no longer this negative thing that you're running away from or trying to avoid. It now becomes something that you seek. And if you understand how success works, you'll understand that rejection is actually a stepping stone to success, right? If you avoid rejection, by default, you're going to avoid success because success is literally a stepping stone. Rejection is literally the stepping stone to success. You cannot reach success if you're not willing to go through rejection. Now, as kids, right? As kids, we were fearless, right? We would ask our mom and dad for the cookie, and they say no, and we'd ask again. We say, "Why, mom? Why can't I have the cookie? Because you need to have dinner first." "But I want the cookie now, mom." We would keep pushing until mom would give in and give us the cookie, or whatever the case may be. But what happened over time? We started to lose that fearlessness. We started to develop what is called the analytical mind. We started analyzing things too much, and instead of just living and expressing ourselves and not giving a fuck, we started caring too much about people's opinions, right? Oh, if this person rejects me, that means I'm not good enough, right? That means I'm not good looking enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not this, I'm not that, right? We start seeing the imperfection, we start seeing our flaws and stop believing in ourselves. And what I realized is that it's a programming. It's a way we've been programmed. We've been programmed to fear rejection, right? We've been programmed to stay in the comfort zone, right? Oh, if you push too far, then people may make fun of you. They may ridicule you, right? You may look stupid. You may be embarrassed. And also in the society we live in, there's like this negative outlook, this negative perspective on rejection. Like if you see someone get rejected, people they say, "Oh, look, he got rejected," or whatever, right? And what's funny is, yeah, because most of that stuff happened in school, from what I remember. Because when you become an adult, people don't really give a fuck as much, right? Maybe online, right? Online, people have so much confidence online, they'll type something and say some shit about you. But live in person, right? Like I've approached lots of women and I've been rejected plenty of times. Nobody really says anything, right? Because in live in person, people are busy. But it's all stuck in our head. We still have the old programming from school, right? In school, when kids used to bully you and make fun of you and shit like that, we still have that old programming, but it's no longer serving us, right? In the real world, you got to be willing to take action. You got to be willing to go for what you want. You got to be willing to push past the rejection in the real world, right? Because if you don't go for what you want, somebody else is going to go for what you want and take the shit, and you're going to have to settle for the scraps, right? And we don't want to settle for the scraps. We want the finest women we can get. We want the most money we can get. We want the best life we can live. We don't want to limit ourselves. So in order to get what we really want, we have to conquer this fear of rejection because it is the stepping stone to success. You will not have success if you're afraid of rejection. I'll tell you that right now, right? So that's what I want to talk about here. So let's start off by how can you reprogram how you respond to rejection, right? Because that's the biggest thing. Most guys, You know, they may have seen a video on YouTube or read an ebook and it said, oh yeah, you can meet women if you just go out and approach them, right? So then they go out and try it, and then they get rejected, and they feel bad. They feel, oh, I'm not good enough, or I'm not good looking enough, or I'm not tall enough, or I'm not this skin tone, or don't have this type of game, or I don't have, right? You start thinking all these things, and so you talk yourself out of approaching more women. So now you just approach maybe 1 or 2 women and you're done. That's a problem, right? And what's stopping you from approaching more women is that fear of rejection. You don't want to face that rejection anymore because it doesn't feel good, right? It doesn't feel good. It's very uncomfortable. It stings, right? And then the thoughts that come with it, it just brings you down and actually starts moving you towards like some kind of depression, right? But what if when you approached a woman and you got rejected, instead of getting down on yourself and all this stuff, you just started smiling, right? You just got happy. Oh, thank you so much. Have a great day. Why? Because you realize I just took my shot. I took my shot. I'm in the game. I took my shot. Yeah, I missed that shot, but what if I make the next one? Right? Michael Jordan, one of the best basketball players to ever play in the NBA. He missed 50% of his shots, right? All these great people who've played sports or done anything in their life, successful businessmen, whatever, look up their stories. They'll tell you about all the failure, all the rejection they had to go through to get to what they wanted. But they wanted success and they understood how success works, right? Each rejection, it gets you closer to success. It's like you just have to put the right understanding, the right perspective. Like, yo, every time I get rejected, I'm getting closer to success. Every time you avoid rejection, you go farther from it, success. Because you're not, every time you take a rejection, it's like a step closer to success. When you don't take the step, you stay where you are. Sometimes you even go backwards, right? If I see a beautiful woman and I don't approach her, I'm guaranteed that I'm not going to get her. It's a guarantee that I'm not going to get her. However, if I approach her and I get rejected, what happened there? I took my shot, I missed the shot, but I'm in the game now. So now all I know I need to do is take some more shots, right? Michael Jordan doesn't go in the game, take one shot, miss it, and then say, oh, I suck. I'm going to go sit on the bench now. No, he takes some more shots because he's like, yo, if I just keep taking more shots, I'm going to make some more shots. And because he's willing to take these shots, what happens? He gets better, right? His career, he got better over his career because he got better at taking shots because he was willing to take the shots. So every time you approach a woman, you get rejected. First of all, congrats for taking the shot. Like whenever I go out with people and approach women, whether it's clients, whether it's my friends, whoever it is, I always give them props when they approach the woman. I don't even ask them if they got her number or not because I don't give a fuck. Just the fact that you took the shot, respect, because most men won't take the shot. Most men let their fear stop them from getting the success, the potential success, right? Rejection and success are two sides of the same coin. It's like every time you approach a woman, you're flipping a coin, basically, right? It's either going to be she's going to be into you or she's not. We also have the concept of the maybe girl, right? And we'll talk about that another time, but just to give you a quick idea, you have some women that are going to be into you. You have some women that are not going to be into you, and then you have some women that are going to be maybe girls. The maybe girls are the girls who you get with game. That's why you learn game, because so you can get the maybe girls, the girls that kind of could go any way. She could be a yes, she could be a no, but she needs more convincing. That's where your game comes in, right? But even if you have no game, if you're willing to go out there and take your shots, you're going to run into some yes girls, you're going to run into some no girls. And that's why I'm focusing on this fear of rejection, because if you can get rid of this fear of rejection, now you are able to just go and take action. You're able to take the shots, right? It's like, once again, let me get back to Michael Jordan, the best basketball player to ever play. If Michael Jordan was afraid to miss shots, and he didn't take shots because he was afraid to miss shots, he wouldn't have been the great Michael Jordan, right? He would have just ended up being like some average player, maybe even below average. We wouldn't have known who he was, right? But because Michael Jordan was fearless when it comes to taking a shot, right? He missed a lot of shots, right? He missed 50%, but he also made 50%. You see what I'm saying? So you reprogram your response to rejection by realizing that rejection is not something. Here's what people think. They think rejection and failure is on one side, and success and, you know, approval and whatever is on this side, right? And you're in the middle. So people think if I go here and get rejection, then I suck, I failed, I lost, right? And people think if I go here and I get success, then I'm great, I'm amazing, da 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 da. But that's not how life works. This is how it actually works. You're right here, rejection is right here, and then success is right here. That's actually how life works. We've been given a wrong formula for success. We've been told that, oh, if you go this way and you meet rejection, you're going the wrong way. Nope. Nope. Actually, if you're right here and you meet rejection, you're going the right way because success is over there. That's what I'm saying. Rejection is a stepping stone to success. If you go, you get rejected right here, you're actually moving closer to the success. However, if you're right here and you see the rejection and you say, oh, that's rejection, I don't want to go there. Guess what? You're avoiding the success. That's the real truth about life, right? Whether we're talking about approaching women, whether we're talking about business, whether we're talking about life in general, if you're not willing to face rejection, you cannot get success. Now, once I realized that, because I used to be shy, afraid to talk to women, afraid to approach women, you know, all those things. So I wouldn't take no shots, right? And because I didn't take no shots, guess what? I wouldn't get any women. When I realized that, oh, the reason I'm not getting any women is because I'm not even taking any shots because I'm afraid to get rejected. So then I just started going after this fear of rejection. I said, fuck it. Forget about, I didn't even care about getting the women or any of that shit. I started attacking the fear of rejection. I was like, yo, I got to overcome and conquer this fear of rejection. And what I realized is, guys, I've been rejected so many times, it's not even crazy, right? But do I look depressed? Do I look like I'm failing in life? Right? Bro, I literally created the dating life of my dreams because I conquered my fear of rejection. If I still had this fear of rejection controlling me, I'd still be over here trying to figure out how to get a girl, bro. I'd still be over here trying to figure out, yo, I wish I had a girl. Right? But I said, fuck that, bro. I don't want to be a victim. Right? I don't want to wait for shit to come for me, hope for it. Right? I got tired of hoping for shit and waiting for shit, bro. I said, yo, I'm going to go and get these women. I'm going to go out and approach them. And then, fear of rejection, I'm going to conquer that shit. Right? And now I have a different relationship with rejection. I actually love rejection because I know it's a stepping stone to success. So anytime I get rejected, I'm like, oh, I'm in the game. Let's play. Let's play the game. Right? If I'm not getting rejected, that means I'm not in the game. If you are not getting rejected, you're not in the game. Because as I said, rejection is a stepping stone to success. So if you're not getting rejected, that means you're not stepping forward towards success. You're staying where you are. You're staying in your comfort zone. There's no success. There's no new reality. There's no new experiences. There's no greater life in the comfort zone. The comfort zone means the same familiar shit that you've been getting, the same reruns of life, the same pattern. That's what happens in the comfort zone. But when you step outside the comfort zone and you go and face potential rejection, now you're in the game. Now you're moving towards success. And once I started to really internalize that, and also when you go and one of the things I teach is exposure therapy. Exposure therapy, I'll give you an example of that. Let's say somebody was afraid of spiders, right? What would we do? First, we would get the person comfortable with looking at a picture of a spider. Like, oh yeah, here's a picture of a spider. What do you think about that? Oh, it's kind of scary, man, you know. Okay, but we get them comfortable. We get them to a point where, okay, you can handle a picture of a spider. Okay, it's just a picture. I got it. Then we may give him like a plush spider toy, like one of those little plush, soft spider toys. We might put one in his hand. Here's a plush spider toy. What do you think about that? Oh gosh, kind of scary, man. I don't know, right? But over time, if we keep giving that plush toy, eventually he's gonna be like, okay, it's just a little plush toy. All right, I get it. And then maybe after the plush toy, we may give him like a more realistic looking, like action figure spider toy thing, right? We give him that. Oh, what do you feel about this? Oh gosh, is that a real spider? And then he gets comfortable with that. And then now we bring the real spider, and we may put the real spider like on a table or something and put it there. Yo, that's a real spider. And you be like, oh my goodness. But he'll kind of be like, oh, okay, I kind of seen something similar to this before. It's not, it's not going to bother him as much. And then if they keep showing it to him eventually, gradually, and then they get him closer to it. Okay, now stand a little bit closer to it. And they keep building up, and then eventually they're like, okay, touch it, So that's exposure therapy. It's like, okay, you're afraid of something, you gradually expose yourself to it until you become comfortable with it. That's something you can do with the fear of rejection, right? You put yourself in situations where you could potentially get rejected, but you give it like small doses of it, right? So for me, I had a big fear of rejection, right? And so what I did was, when I would go out and approach women, instead of going to like the finest, most attractive girl I could see right away, I didn't do that. I started by approaching older ladies, putting myself in a situation where I could potentially get rejected by older ladies. So I'll go up to older ladies and tell them they look attractive, right? I tell them, hey, I'd love to take you on a date sometime, right? I would say these things that could potentially get rejected, right? An old lady, she could either say yes to that or no to that, right? And a lot of them would reject me. They'd be like, oh, you're too young for me, or I'm sorry, I'm already married, right? So I'd put myself in front of these, these situations that, yeah, it was a potential rejection, but it was a small dose of it. So it wasn't too big of a deal. And I got used to it. Okay, it's not that big of a deal. All right. So then I went from old ladies to like middle-aged ladies, right? And then from middle-aged ladies, then I finally started going to women that were more around my age in their 20s, right? And then eventually I started to just get comfortable with rejection. Like I could literally get rejected and smile and laugh because I was so comfortable with it. And I realized that every time I get rejected, I'm getting closer to success. You see what I'm saying? I just started to put the right mindset on it. I got out of the old illusion. They created this illusion that rejection is this big bad thing when it's not. Right? It's like they want to keep us in our comfort zone, right? Right? They put this negative stereotype on rejection. Like if you get rejected, that means you're a horrible person and you're not good enough and all this stuff. It's such a fucking lie. Right? Successful people understand that rejection is necessary, and they just keep it moving. You can't even tell when they get rejected because they just so relaxed, right? My older brother, he's like, he does some stuff with politics and stuff like that, and he's pretty up there and successful, and he's doing some different things. And I was thinking, because, okay, he's into politics, he probably wouldn't want to get rejected because I might mess up his reputation, whatever. And I saw him when we were hanging out and stuff, he would start conversations with people, and sometimes people would ignore him or not say anything to him. And you wouldn't even be able to tell, because it's like water just rubbing off his back. He'll just stay in a positive state. Like he may say, hey, how you doing? And the person may ignore him, and he'll just continue smiling. He may say something to me like, he moves right on to the next thing. He doesn't stay on, oh my goodness, I just got rejected. It's like it doesn't even process in his brain as rejection anymore. That's how successful people are, if you ever wondered. Like successful people, they get rejected, but it's just that they don't care, right? We just don't care because we know that every time we get rejected, it's getting us closer to success, right? We're in the game. I'm talking, I'm communicating, I'm expressing myself, I'm talking to people, I'm in that vibe. Versus, what if I wasn't talking? What if I wasn't doing anything? What if I was just being, quiet? Nothing's going to happen. If you're quiet and you don't talk, and you don't express yourself, and you don't, put your energy out there, you're not going to create anything. Your life's going to stay the same. Right? So another thing we want to look at is what I call your RQ, which is your rejection quotient. And this is basically how much rejection can you take on your way to success, right? You have some people that have a low RQ, a low rejection quotient, meaning they get rejected once or twice by women and they're done for the month, they're done for the year, right? those guys don't do well with women because they're not even really in the game, right? And why are they not in the game? Who knows? They might actually have good game. They might be pretty good looking. They might have a good physique. They might be tall. They might be have whatever. But because they're afraid of rejection, they're just not putting in enough quantity. They're not taking enough shots. As I said, Michael Jordan, one of the best, he was, arguably the best player that ever played the game of basketball. But if he only took one shot per game, he wouldn't have made any impact. Right? So it's the same thing with approaching women. You could literally be Casanova. But if you only talk to one woman a month or whatever, right, you're not really playing the game. Right? So we got to have a high rejection quotient, meaning we got to be able to take a certain amount of rejection in order to get the success. Because success, it's not like there's like a thing that says this girl is guaranteed success or whatever. You don't really know. However, if you're willing to take the shot, now you can find out. It's like one thing that guys do is they reject themselves before the girl can reject them. It's like, oh, you look at a girl and you look at her and let's say she doesn't smile at you. So you're like, oh, she's not interested. Just because she didn't smile at you, maybe she was nervous. Maybe she wasn't thinking, she's not in that state of mind to really be thinking, oh, a guy's going to approach her right now. Maybe she's busy. Maybe she has other things on her mind. Maybe she has an exam coming up. Maybe she has a interview coming up. You don't know. So, but what guys do is they're quick to self-reject so that they don't have to even take the shot. They don't even want to go in the game because it's easier for them to just say, oh, yeah, she's not interested, or oh, yeah, maybe she has a boyfriend, or oh, yeah, she didn't smile at me, right? So it's so easy for them to just stay in their comfort zone, right? Feels comfortable, feels familiar. But guess what? Because they stayed in their comfort zone, because they self-rejected themselves, now there's no possibility they could get with that girl. It's not going to happen. Versus the guy who has a high rejection quotient, who actually understands that rejection is a stepping stone to success, who actually understands that if you want to make a lot of shots, you got to take a lot of shots, who understands that even the great Michael Jordan, if he didn't take a certain amount of shots, he wouldn't have made a certain amount of shots, right? Who understands that philosophy applies to all areas of life, including with women, right? If I want a certain quality of dating life, a certain quality of sex life, I got to create that shit, right? I can't just wait for that shit to happen because it may not happen, right? I went through my whole high school and nothing happened because I didn't make anything happen. And I was hoping for luck. Well, guess what? Even when luck came in my way, here's the next thing. You see, if you're not being proactive in your life and you're not going after your want and you're not taking action, you're not going to feel worthy, right? When you go out and take action, you pursue things or whatever, you start to feel worthy because you're like, yo, I'm putting my energy out here. I'm really going for it. So you start to believe that you deserve these women just because of the sheer fact that you're putting out the energy, right? But when you're sitting back and you're not really putting yourself out there, you're not really taking action, you start to feel like you don't deserve shit because you know deep down, man, I'm not even really trying. I'm not even really like going for it. I'm not facing my demons. I'm living in my comfort zone. Right? So then let's say you get lucky and the universe does put a woman in front of you. You're not going to do shit because you didn't prepare yourself. You're not in that energy of taking action, right? You're not in that proactive energy. You're in that passive, hope some shit happens energy. And guess what? Women, very rarely a woman is going to like do the work for you, right? They may flip their hair or look at you, whatever, but it's very rare a woman's going to be like, hey, I like you, and come up and just make it easy for you. That doesn't happen most of the time. So as a man, you got to be willing to make shit happen. My dating life didn't change until I decided to, raise up my masculine energy. Masculine energy is proactive energy. It's assertive energy. It's penetrating energy. It's that go-getter. It's that make that shit happen energy, right? So if you want what you want, you got to raise that masculine energy. And whatever's in your way, you got to learn how to overcome that shit. And I saw that rejection, the fear of rejection was in the way. So I said, okay, fear of rejection, let's go. Me versus you. And instead of me like making it this big battle, I turned rejection into my friend. I started to make friends with rejection because I started to realize, hey, hold on. You're just a stepping stone to success. That's all you are. right? And then even the rejections I was getting, like the worst thing that would happen is a girl says, no, thank you. Or she says, sorry, I have a boyfriend, right? If you really think about it, is that really that bad? I mean, think about back in the day what our ancestors had to deal with, right? They had to deal with actually like legit predators and shit, right? And lions and snakes and shit like that. I'm talking about like back, way, way back before we had all this technology. That was the type of shit they had to deal with, and they handled that shit. And you're telling me we can't take a little no thank you from a girl? A little I have a boyfriend from a girl? Bro, our ancestors would look at us like, yo, are you kidding me? We had to fight lions and we had to deal with bears, right? And all this shit, and these guys can't even deal with a woman saying no thank you? Nah, bro, I'm not going down like that. So, another thing is we want to get beyond just tolerating rejection. As I said, you want to fall in love. You want to become friends with it because you realize it is your friend. Not only is rejection a stepping stone to success, but rejection is actually information. It gives you information, right? When I get rejected by a woman, I look and I see, what can I learn from this, right? And you don't want to just like approach one woman and then think you can learn everything from that one approach. Like you want to approach a decent amount of women, like get some quantity in there, talk to some women. I used to set a quota for myself. I started small and I built it up. At first I would just say, I'm going to approach 5 women today. Right. And then after I got to 5, maybe the next day I say, I'm going to go for 6 today. And I got to the point where I was approaching 30 women a day. Right. And I tell guys, look, you don't have to do 30 women a day. It's just that I was just relentless. I was trying to just destroy this fear of rejection and just get what I want. So if you want to go crazy like that, you can. But even just approaching 5 women a day, make a huge difference. Right. And then you can learn from these. Like if you're approaching, let's say you go out for a whole month and you approach 5 women a day. And let's just say this is very unlikely, but let's just say none of those women were receptive to your approach. Then that's feedback. That's feedback telling you, okay, there's something off in the way I'm approaching these women, and let me see if I can fix it. Because that's objective feedback, right? If you've been approaching a variety of different women and they're all not responding in a good way, then there's something you can work on to improve that, right? It's not personal. That's one thing we need to understand. When a woman rejects you, it's not personal. It's a preference, right? She has a certain preference in that moment, and you didn't show up as that ideal in that moment. However, you can learn from the rejection and say, okay, I'm not showing up as the preferred way of approaching a woman or showing up as the preferred man. So what can I do to become that, right? How can I raise my value or improve my presentation? Because sometimes you may already have all the value you need to get women, but it's just the way how you're presenting it is off, right? You have to figure out how to present it properly. Like me, when I just started approaching women, I had a lot of great things going for me. I was in great shape, you know what I mean? I was intelligent, you know what I mean? I had, I played basketball, I was a cool guy. I had some personality, whatever, but I didn't know how to present it in an attractive way, right? I didn't know how to really like stimulate a woman with my communication and get those emotions across, transfer those emotions. I didn't know how to do that shit. Right? So I just had to learn from the feedback. Okay, I'm doing something wrong. Let me find out what I'm doing wrong. Oh, I'm not really creating an emotional experience for the woman. I'm being too logical maybe. Or I'm being too serious. That was one of my problems in the beginning too. I was being too serious. But how would I learn that without first getting rejection? Rejection is feedback. It tells you what to do better. So instead of taking it personal and just thinking you suck, no, ask yourself, okay, I'm getting rejected. What can I do to get less rejection? Because it's not about never getting rejected ever again, because that's bullshit, right? As I said, women have preferences. You're not always going to be the preference, right? The way how we have a preference of certain flavors of ice cream we like, or we have a certain type of, type of women that we like. Even us as men, we have certain types of women that we like versus other types, right? So why would you think women don't have that? So we got to understand it's about preference. So even with that understanding, okay, let's say there's a certain type of woman you like, you know, identify and find out what type of man is this type of woman attracted to. You ever ask yourself that question? And then ask yourself, how can I become the type of man that she's attracted to? Or how can I express myself in a way that represents that type of man, right? What type of value does she seek? Right? We know at the core women are interested in survival value, right? They're interested in social value, right? They're interested in a man that can lead them into the emotional experiences they want to have. But we got to get clarity on that. And how do you get that clarity? From the feedback you're getting, right? From working on yourself, from improving, right? From learning from other men who have put themselves through this stuff, right? Like, you guys don't have to go through as much rejection as I went through, right? Because I'm giving you an understanding of how to change your relationship with rejection. And then I also make videos like giving you the game as well. Like, okay, here's how you communicate in an attractive way. Here's how you become more grounded in your masculinity. Like, here's how you cultivate these attributes and these characteristics that make you more attractive, so that when you do go and take your shots, you make more shots than you were missing, right? Like, you improve your shot percentage, right? You definitely want your shot percentage to improve, right? But don't think it's gonna be 100, right? That's bullshit. Okay. So another thing we need to work on is our response emotionally to rejection, right? When a woman says yes to me, there's a certain emotional reaction I have from it. Like, if I approach a woman and the interaction goes good and she gives me a number, whatever, there's a certain response I have to it, and it's actually quite neutral, right? Because I'm just like, it's cool. She likes me. If she rejects me, it's the same response. Oh, cool. All right, it didn't work out. On to the next. See, you want to have the same emotional response to whether you get the yes or you get the no. Because you don't want, okay, when you get a yes, you're, oh, I'm so excited. Yeah. And then, maybe you get her number and all this stuff, and then she flakes. Now what happens? Now you're down back in the dumps. Now you're depressed. Now you're like, oh, shit, man. Right? You're too emotionally attached to this woman's response. So we want to be grounded in our masculinity. That means we can handle whatever life throws at us and maintain our emotional state. Okay? The exposure therapy will help you with that. Right? If you expose yourself to something over time, it starts to have less of an emotional impact on you. The exposure therapy will help with that. Another thing that can help you is reprogramming your subconscious mind. Now, that's like, I have a process for that, and that's like very detailed and specific. So if you're interested in that stuff, that's like some, one of my coaching services or something, because there's like a specific way of meditating and a way of accessing your subconscious mind, right? Where you can actually reprogram some of your beliefs around this rejection, right? Reprogram your perception on rejection, right? You can literally reprogram that stuff, but you got to understand, how the subconscious mind works and all that stuff, and then know the specific meditations to do, right? So I'll talk about that stuff later. So in order to achieve greater success, we have to come to this understanding that if rejection is a stepping stone to success, then what if I set the intention to get rejected more? This is actually one of my secrets that maybe guys don't know. I think I've said it in maybe a couple of my videos, but this is one of my secrets. And this was something that I realized over time, is that if you go out with the mindset to get rejected, you're actually more likely to get success, right? Because here's the thing. If you go out with the mindset to get success, what are you going to do? You're going to wait for the perfect moment, right? You're going to think, oh, what's the perfect thing to say? And what happens? By the time you think of a perfect moment, the girl leaves. Or you think of the perfect thing to say, the girl's already gone, right? But what if your mindset was, let me see how many rejections I can get? Now, you see a woman, you're just going to be like, oh, I'm trying to get rejected, so let me just go. Fuck it, I'm going to just go. But because you just went, now you're in the game. So you may even go with the mindset of getting rejected, but she may be like, hey, this guy, I like this dude. She may be all over you, even though you went with the intention of getting rejected. And I applied that when I used to go to the club. Sometimes I'll go to the club and I'd be striking, I'd be facing a lot of rejection. I'm like, what's going on here? And I noticed I was like too attached to the outcome. I may be coming off too needy. That's another thing that happens when you're too focused on success, right? You're like too attached to the outcome. It's like so obvious that you want something from her. And she can tell. Women can pick up on that energy. But when you approach a woman and you're actually trying to get rejected, what happens? She feels a different energy coming off of you. And it's actually an energy that draws her in, right? Because what happens when somebody runs away from someone, right? Like, example, right, with dogs, right? If you run away from a dog, what does the dog want to do? It wants to chase you, right? And if you run towards the dog, it tries to run away, right? It's kind of like a natural instinct thing that we do, right? So, and it's very obvious with animals, but as people, we do it too. Like if somebody is chasing you down and always trying to like get something from you, what does it do? It makes you want to go away from them. But when somebody's showing that they don't need anything from you, right, that they don't really give a fuck, they're not so attached to the outcome, what happens? You're kind of like more interested, like, oh, this person's kind of different. They're not really trying to take from me. It's a different vibe. And women, they start to see you as a challenge when you have that energy. Because it's different. It's like, who is this guy? Why is he not chasing me down? Why is he not thirsty like all the other guys? What's going on here? You become more interested. So by actually seeking out more rejection, it leads to more success because you have a different energy that's more attractive. Not only that, you'll take more shots, right? Because if I'm trying to get rejected, that means I'm going to take more shots. I'm not going to be looking for no perfect moment. I'm just going to be like, yo, that's a cute girl. I'm going, boom. Right? And a lot of times you'll find that the more you try to go for rejection, it actually gets hard to get rejected. Right? People will start saying yes, right? Girls will start saying yes to you that you never thought would say yes. Because why? You're showing up with a different energy. It's more attractive, right? You're not so outcome dependent. You don't give as much fucks. We know that women are attracted to men like that. Why? Because they become a challenge. They're more like compelled to move in that direction. It's interesting. It's intriguing for them. Well, this guy is different. Who is this dude? He's not like the rest, right? Most guys are chasing me down. Most guys make it so easy. Most guys let me know that I have them before I even tried. But this guy is a little different. He has a certain look in his eye. When you don't have a problem with rejection, you have a certain look in your eye. There's a certain body language you have because you just don't care. But when you care, it's like a timidness there, like, oh man, I hope I don't get rejected. You think that's attractive? No. Because a woman needs a strong, grounded, masculine man. So actually, when you're able to face rejection, what does this signal to a woman on a subconscious level? This is the type of man that's going to be successful in life because he takes shots. Because he takes the steps to success. Right? As I said, rejection is a stepping stone to success. So if you demonstrate to a woman that you are willing to face rejection, what are you telling her? You're telling her that you are a risk taker in life. You're somebody that makes moves. You're a go-getter. Otherwise, you wouldn't be fit. You wouldn't put yourself in this position because you'd be too scared. You'd be too afraid to do it. Right? So subconsciously, you actually demonstrate to a woman an attractive quality. Right? You are the type of man that can face rejection. You're the type of man that can take calculated risk. Right? You're the type of man who has some balls. Why is that attractive to a woman? Because a woman is not designed to be like that. The woman is designed to be afraid and rightfully so, because she's more emotional, right? She's more susceptible to being moved emotionally, right? So she has to be more careful. Right? She's less physically strong than a man, right? So she needs to be careful, these kind of things. She wants a man that shows up, that can be the man, right? If you approach a woman and you're afraid of rejection and stuff like that, what are you showing her? Oh, I'm afraid. You're basically showing up as a girl. So don't expect her to be like, yeah, I want him to be my man if you're not showing up as a man, right? That wouldn't make any sense. It's kind of like if you like most of us men, we like women that act like women, right? That are feminine, that are soft, that are beautiful, whatever. Imagine a woman coming up to you and like, yo, all tough, like, yo, what's good, right? It would turn you off because she's not being how nature wanted us to be. Nature wanted women to be feminine, you know, and in their feminine energy, and nature wanted men to be in their masculine energy. Right? So if you are afraid of rejection, that's like a feminine energy. That's a timid, I'm trying to avoid shit type of energy. You're signaling to her, this is not the guy you should mate with because he is not a real man. Look at him. He's afraid. Look at him. He's afraid if you say one thing that doesn't validate him, he's gonna be crushed. You think she's gonna wanna choose you out of because if she's beautiful, she has options, right? So out of all the men, she's gonna choose the guy that is afraid of what she can say to him. Like her lack of her approval will crush him, his spirits. Nah, bro. Nope. Gonna put you in the friend zone or sorry, not interested, right? So, I'm gonna give you one more tip here to conquer this fear of rejection. Ultimately, what needs to happen here, I'm gonna just tell you what really needs to happen here is we need to change the programming, right? Because as I said in the beginning of this, as kids, we were so fearless, right? We were like, Mom, can I have the cookie? Mom, what does that mean? You know, Dad, can I do this? Right? We would just say whatever we felt like saying. We didn't have no concept of no fear of rejection, right? That didn't exist because we didn't have the analytical mind to analyze shit and be like, oh, if I get rejected, it means that I'm not good enough, or it means that I'm stupid, or it means that, right? We didn't have all that shit in our head. We would just do shit. And we were so free. But then as we grow up, we started to develop analytical mind and we started caring about people's opinions and seeing separation, right? And judging people and all this stuff. And so now, we're like in a prison of our minds. But what I realized is our minds have been programmed a certain way. So that means we can change the program. So I just changed the program in regards to rejection, right? And once this is like the foundation, like, all that game stuff that guys are trying to learn, like if you are afraid of rejection, you're afraid of the woman's response to you, you're afraid of her reaction to you, you really need her approval, you really need her validation, no matter what game you learn, it's going to come off weak. It's going to come off too soft, right? It's going to come off too nice, right? It's not going to be very effective. This is the foundation you need. You conquer this fear of rejection. Now any game that you learn is going to come across with strength. It's going to come across with power. She's going to feel it. Not only women is going to start being more attracted to you, but what? Men are going to respect you more because they're going to be like, yo, that's a man right there. That's somebody I want to be aligned with, right? That's somebody I want on my team, right? I don't want him as my enemy because he look like he about some shit, right? I want him on my team, right? Because you show up with strength now. You ain't afraid of no rejection. Matter of fact, you laugh. The best response to rejection, you want to put rejection below you. Anytime you get rejection, laugh that shit off. Try that. Start smiling, start laughing. It changes your relationship with rejection, man. I'm telling you. Because you're signaling to your brain, oh, when I get rejected, that shit is funny. That's good vibes. It's a positive thing. It's not, you're changing the programming, right? So that is the advice I have for you in regards to dealing with the fear of rejection. If you apply this shit, you will conquer your fear of rejection, right? This is exactly how I did it, okay? And this can speed up the process. You know what I mean? So you guys can take this information. You could go out there and apply it, right? But if you'd like to work together, obviously I do one-on-one coaching. And one of the components of my coaching is to conquer this fear of rejection. Right? This is like the foundation. This is the first thing we deal with, right? Overcome this fear of rejection. Because when I got into the game, I realized that was actually the biggest thing holding me back. I just wasn't taking shots, right? Because I was afraid. I wasn't putting myself in the game. I wasn't trying. I wasn't showing up as my best self. All of that stemmed from the fear of rejection. So if we can, imagine if you had no fear of rejection. Just imagine that right now. If you literally had no fear of rejection. Bro, you probably just go out and start talking to some women right now. Right? And you probably pull a woman back to your crib today. Right? Because you would just keep going. right? Imagine you get rejected. Every time you get rejected, you get more power because you're like, yo, that's a stepping stone. I'm moving closer to success. So now what happens? You approach more, and then you're going to run into, as I said, you have the yes girls, you have the no girls, and the maybe girls. So even if you have no game, you're going to run into some yes girls. And then all you got to do is just say, oh, okay, this girl is into me. All right. You just lead the conversation. You could literally be like, hey, I'm actually going to go watch a movie at my crib. You want to come watch a movie? And if you say it like that, all fun and playful, she'd be like, yeah, let's go. Right? And that's where the game comes and all that stuff, right? Because you got to understand like energy and, communication and all that stuff. And that's what I teach in my coaching as well. So first, I help you overcome the fear of rejection, right? I help you with exposure therapy. I show you how to reprogram your subconscious mind, right? I put you on my meditations. Okay, from there, then I teach you the process of approaching a woman. How do you open a woman? How do you vibe with a woman? And how you close a woman, right? From there, I teach you how to get dates. Okay, how do you get up to 3 dates per week, right? When I'm really hitting it, I'm getting up to 3 dates per week. So I show you my process. How do you get the dates, right? And then how do you build your rotation? Right? Because once you have a rotation of women, then obviously you have some abundance. Like the rotation of women is basically women that you're seeing on a consistent basis in a romantic and sexual manner. Right? And then from there, you can choose, okay, out of these women that I'm seeing, do I want to settle down with one of them or do I just want to run my rotation? Right? It's up to you. Right? So this is the formula. Overcome the fear of rejection, learn game, how to approach a woman, open her, vibe with her, close, right? How to get these women on dates, and then how to build your rotation. And then ultimately, if you find the right girl for you, then you could settle down, or you could just be, a rotation type of dude, which is what I like to do. I just love to have my rotations. I love having abundance of women, and that's me. But some guys, they want one woman. So I'm saying you create the abundance, and then you choose that one girl if you want to do that. All right? So that's my coaching. So I have 2 options for you. If you just want to focus on overcoming the fear of rejection and getting 3 dates per week, like you just want to get good at cold approach, I have my Godlike Confidence program, which is literally a program. It has videos in there. Every single day it tells you what to do. Like day 1, goal setting and setting up your morning routine. Day 2, how your subconscious mind works, how to reprogram your subconscious mind so you no longer fear rejection, all these different things, right? It has the videos and it shows you what to do. It's a private Facebook group. I'm in there. I answer your questions. And the goal for that program is for you to be able to overcome your fear of rejection and get up to 3 dates per week, right? That program is $9.97, okay? If you want to go deeper and you want to basically like have a rotation, like for real, like get my personal help. We're doing one-on-one calls every single week. We're looking at the details, the specifics of what you need to work on to build your rotation and have women that you're seeing on a consistent basis that you're having sex with and you have a romantic relationship with. I will personally coach you on that. That means we're doing weekly calls. That means you're getting customized advice. That means you're getting all my secrets, everything that I've learned over the years of approaching women, 10 plus years of going out and doing cold approach. You'll learn all of that. And not only that, so that's 8 weeks of one-on-one calls with me. Plus you get access to the Godlike Confidence program with the videos. But we also do 2 days live and field coaching, right? So that means we'll go out. I'm in Orlando, Florida. So either you'll come here or I'll go to you. And we'll basically go out and I will demonstrate how to approach women, how to do it effectively, how to, be grounded in your masculinity, be confident, express yourself in an attractive way, sexualize a conversation, close the woman, right? How to, set up dates. Like you'll see me demonstrate it and then I'll have you do it. Right now you do it. And when you're approaching women, I'll give you feedback. I'll help you tweak things. Right. And I do both day game and night game. So whichever one you want to focus on, we'll focus on that. Or if you want to do both, we'll do both. All right. That program is $2,500. All right. So you have the Godlike Confidence program, just the videos and the Facebook group. And then you have my Godlike Confidence program, but with the one-on-one coaching. So the 8 weekly calls, and then the 2 days live and field. All right. So if you're interested in any one of those options, just reach out to me and we'll make it happen. All right. I want to thank you for watching. See you in the next videos. Peace.